Countless tales and legends tell of precious treasures from all over the world lost without a trace, from ancient times to the present day. For some, we have no definitive proof, while for others it is clear that at some point in history they existed, but mysteriously disappeared, buried or stolen and lost in secret places. Undoubtedly, some of these treasures would change history and enrich our understanding of the past, but they are unlikely to be found after centuries of searching. The world's lost treasures are numerous, but there are a few that are of particular importance to history. Welcome to our channel, Data is Everything. Let us have a look at 10 of the world's hidden treasures whose worth cannot be calculated. 10. The Tomb of Genghis Khan. The death of Genghis Khan is shrouded in mystery. In the summer of 1227, during a campaign along the upper reaches of the Yellow River in Yinchuan, the great Khan died. It remains unknown the actual cause of his death. Historians claim that Genghis Khan wished to be buried in an unmarked grave in the Burkhan Khaldan Mountains in Mongolia many years before his death. His body was transported by his soldiers back to his homeland after his death, where Genghis Khan was buried in an unmarked grave, somewhere in the heart of the Burkhan Khaldan Mountains, at his own request. Each soldier involved in the burial was killed, based on the legends, in order to keep the location secret. Other myths claim that in order to further hide any signs of human activity, his people released 1,000 horses in the area and that they also modified the flow of the nearby river to run over his grave. Later on, a large area of land surrounding the Khan's resting place was closed to the public and protected by soldiers, and it remains sacred even today. No trace of a tomb has been found even after centuries of research and excavations. 9. The Knights Templar Treasure. The Knights Templars, established in 1119, were one of the first and most prominent religious military orders in Europe. The original goal was to help the new Kingdom of Jerusalem against Muslim neighbors and to secure the visit of Christian pilgrims to the holy places. The order has gained immense power and wealth over time. Philip IV, seeing a challenge in the face of the Templars, won the support of the Pope to deal with them. He captured the most powerful knights in 1307, losing their treasury. It turned out to be empty, though. What the Templar treasure is, and where it is hidden, remains a mystery which for 7 centuries has fascinated the world. 8. The Library of the Moscow Tsars. It is assumed that the Moscow Tsar's library, otherwise known as Ivan the Terrible's library because it vanished after his death, held a legendary collection of ancient books. For historians and archaeologists, the lost library of the terrible Russian Tsar continues to be a great challenge. There were over 800 books in the library, including rare masterpieces of Greek and Roman literature, inherited from his grandmother, Sophia, by Ivan the Terrible, who originally brought the library from Rome to Moscow. In addition to inheriting the library, the Tsar, who acquired the renown of a ruthless monarch, blessed it with rare manuscripts from all over Europe. The list included 142 volumes of Titus Livius' History of Rome, of which only 35 are known today, the complete version of the De Re Publica, treatise of Cicero, from which only a small portion of the modern day survived, and several other ancient manuscripts. According to legend, somewhere in Moscow, Ivan the Terrible hid the collection, but after his death in 1584, no one could tell where it was, nor did it even exist. Can you imagine just how much history would change if it were ever discovered? 7. Lost Dutchman Mine. The Lost Dutchman Mine is an alleged gold mine discovered in the early 1800s by a wealthy Mexican family. They mined as much gold as they could for years while keeping it a secret until their final exploration ended with the loss of almost the entire family, killed in the area by the Apache. The last person who supposedly saw the mine was Jacob Walzer, a German immigrant who discovered it with his wife in the late 1800s and buried some of the gold somewhere in the mountains. He defined the location of the mine to only one person, his neighbor, who looked after him in his final days, until his death in 1891. However, several have attempted to locate it unsuccessfully. In fact, since many who tried to find the treasure in the past never returned, the area and the treasure itself are nowadays considered to be cursed. 6. The Amber Room. The Amber Room, a sign of both Russian and German masterpieces, was the Romanov house's pride and joy. During World War II, it mysteriously vanished and has been unknown ever since. And while this incredible place is being recreated by Russian masters and scientists in the 21st century, the location of the original Amber Room continues to spark debate among enthusiasts. The first Russian emperor to rule from 1682 to 1721, Peter the Great, is renowned for his passion for curiosities. In St. Petersburg, his array of rare and distinctive objects are the so-called Kunstkamera, a space full of extraordinary items, from minerals to deformed human embryos, continues to be seen. According to Alfred Rode, a German art critic who after being stolen, supposedly took care of the Amber Room, even the heavy bombing of Königsberg in 1944, where it was allegedly kept, survived. After they seized the city, however, the Soviet troops found no sign of it. And just like that, one of the world's most outstanding treasures was lost. 5. Romanov Easter eggs. Peter Karl Faberge was a jeweler from Russia of French descent. He is renowned for his work's outstanding quality and elegance, and particularly for the famous Faberge eggs. Tsar Alexander III, who ordered a decorative Easter egg from Faberge's workshop in 1885 as a gift for his wife, Empress Maria Feodorovna, began the royal tradition of Faberge eggs. Maria Feodorovna saw an ordinary egg made out of white gold when she got the present. But inside the egg, the emperor had prepared some surprises. She noticed the golden yolk when she opened it. The egg had more surprises waiting to be uncovered in a way similar to the Russian Matryoshka. The yolk was to be opened to reveal a golden hen with ruby eyes. From this day forward, until his death, the crown will have Faberge make one egg a year for Alexander III. This tradition was continued by Nicholas II, his successor, who requested 44 more eggs in total. There were about 70 in total, it is assumed, but the mystery here is that 8 of the royal eggs are missing. Each of the surviving Faberge eggs is worth millions of dollars, which suggests that it will be worth much more to those that are missing. 4. Ark of the Covenant. Undoubtedly, the Ark of the Covenant remains one of the most mystical objects mentioned in the Bible. But what was an ark, exactly? It was a chest of acacia wood with a gold casing, according to the descriptions in the Bible, which symbolized God's presence among the people. A golden pot was held inside with heavenly manna, the rod of Aaron, and 2 plates with God's commandments written on them, received on Mount Sinai by the prophet Moses. The ark was taken to the Promised Land by the Jews. Yahweh's people were invincible through his supernatural powers. For the Israelites to cross, the force of the ark dried up the Jordan River and delivered diseases to the Philistines, who dared to battle God's chosen ones. During King Josiah's reign in the 7th century BC, the ark still existed. During the conquest of Jerusalem by the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar in 587 BC or earlier, it is believed to have been lost, as it was not mentioned among the relics and treasures looted from the Temple of Solomon. The Israelites never created another ark, obeying God's command, and its secret remained irretrievably lost. 3. Jewels of King John. King John of England (1166–1216) was fond of collecting jewelry and gold plates, and his collection was vast. In 1216, in an area aptly called the Swamp, the king travelled to Lynn in Norfolk because it consisted of large areas of hazardous swamps. King John contracted dysentery there and wanted to go back for treatment at Newark Castle. He took a safe, but slower, road, of course, but his soldiers and carts, full of jewels, personal possessions, and even the crowns he had inherited from his grandmother, the Empress of Germany, took a short and dangerous path through the swamps. They vanished there. His carriage of treasure was lost and never found again. Days later, King John himself died, ending the tale even more. King John's treasure is also considered to be the greatest royal treasure in history when you think about it. Is it actually lost, or was it taken by his own kin because of the high tides or a wrong move into the swamps? 2. Lost Inca gold. The abandoned city of Paititi is spoken about in many legends. This, according to some, is where during their conquest of South America, the ancient Incas, in their desperation, hid their treasure from the Europeans. Paititi has become associated with the legendary El Dorado, due to the unknown location and legends surrounding the lost area. The Golden City is situated in the jungles of Peru, according to researchers. During the hunt, several other settlements were found in which direct knowledge about Paititi's presence was found. It will be known in the future if it is a legend such as El Dorado, whether it exists and if these two locations are not exactly the same. 1. Dead Sea Copper Scroll Treasures. The Qumran archaeological site is located at the northern end of the Dead Sea, near the town of Kalia, Palestine. This is the site of the caves where in 1946, a Bedouin found the famous Dead Sea Scrolls. Later excavations by archaeologists of 11 caves discovered 972 parchment and papyrus texts and 2 rare copper scrolls, which are possibly 2 pieces of the same item. In 1952, in the back of cave number 3, the copper scroll in question was discovered and varies not only in material but in contents. It turned out that this is a comprehensive list of 64 locations where large quantities of gold and silver are supposedly concealed. Unfortunately, the locations are written as though, without the need for detailed directions, the reader will know the places described, which is why the mystery remains unresolved to this day. It is thought that it was produced in the last century BC. While many historians assume that during their conquest of the area, some of the riches may have been found by the Romans, it is fair to think that at least some of the sites were never discovered. These were the 10 lost treasures of the world which remains unfound. Do let us know in the comments, which one will you search if given a superpower? That was all for today's video. Thank you for watching. Data is everything. Like, share and subscribe for more amazing videos.